Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Ultron Primeval and T-Rex with a 3 from the Marvel Mechstrike Mechasaurs line from Hasbro. This is part of the Epic Hero series, as we can see the logo down here in the bottom left. And hey guys, I finally found Ultron. I've never seen this in a store. Walmart was supposed to get like first early access to this line. Got about half of it and gave up. Even the packaging seems to acknowledge that Thor and the Gold Iron Man don't exist, so that's fun. But yeah, I found it on Amazon randomly, and it's $32.99, I think, something like that. It's a little bit bigger than the other sets that were like $21.99 or whatever. But we have our second villain in the line. So we had Venom previously, now we have Ultron Primeval. I'm just happy to get some more villains. The line definitely needs some more villains. But this is pretty cool. Like I said, I got it from Amazon, so the box came pre-smashed. Thank you for that wonderful packing job in the shipping container. Thanks, Amazon. But yeah, up top here, we have some cool artwork. We have Ultron. We have the Avengers over here. Not really much going on the bottom. It's cool artwork of Ultron there wearing his T-Rex mecha suit, whatever we're calling that. Ultron plus T-Rex equals Mecha Ultron T-Rex, whatever this form's called. And then over here on the back, again, just more product shots of Ultron, the T-Rex, and then, of course, merging them together. I don't think there's any official instructions in the packaging. I could be wrong. I'll take a look, but this might be the official instructions right there. So we'll see how it goes. Gonna go ahead and get him out of the box, and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so here's everything you get in the packaging. Of course, we have our Ultron Primeval figure, and then we have the pieces here to make the T-Rex. You have this little missile launcher. Fires pretty well. Honestly, kind of reminds me of something from like the Mission Fleet line. But it's kind of cool. We'll come back to this a little bit later on. First up, let's build our T-Rex. So we have these two pieces of the tail, which we are just going to sandwich together like so, very simply. And earlier when I said there wouldn't be directions, I was wrong. There are directions. They're very basic. It's just kind of one piece of paper folded in half, but it tells you what you need. So, going to take this piece of the T-Rex, which I think the head looks pretty good. It's nicely sculpted. You have some nice red paint there for the eye, this little bolt here on the jaw. He's kind of got like two bottom jaws though. This is a piece that's going to like become part of the chest armor, but then he's also got this like second jaw. So it's kind of weird, but if you kind of line it up, it kind of just looks like he's got one intricate jaw. And then he's got kind of like a little, you know, blaster there inside the mouth. He's got these super tiny little T-Rex arms, which are kind of on like a very limited ball joint. He's got these little black wispy hairs up here. And then obviously this is the clip that's going to be utilized for the combine mode. But we'll take the tail pieces. You can see that there are two sockets right there and two connectors here. So we will just go ahead and pop that on and push that in like so. Very nice and sturdy. Then we're going to take our two leg sections. Now these don't have a ton to them here in this little joint, but you can kind of push these down a little bit just to close up some of that space. And then you're going to take this connection here and pop it onto this. Now it is kind of this weird, instead of just being a peg, it's this kind of, you know, like piece here that I'm almost kind of worried like taking it on and off is going to break that over time. I really hope it doesn't, but only time will tell. So again, we're going to kind of close that up as best we can and then go ahead and pop this on here. And then we can just kind of pose it around. Move our arms down. You can move the head up and down like this, which is nice. So there we go. There is our little T-Rex. He's not as big as I was expecting him to be. I mean, he's definitely a lot of plastic, like for the legs and everything. But he's not especially huge. Just for a quick little comparison, here is Iron Man's little Stegosaurus buddy. And he's definitely bigger. Don't get me wrong. He is bigger. So I can understand why this set is, you know, $10 more. Does it feel like $10 more? I don't know. Certainly $5 more. But they don't he doesn't seem all that much bigger. I don't know. I kind of expected it to be, you know, maybe a little bit bigger up here. It's not a big deal. It's perfectly fine. You know, I'm just trying to figure out the price points and whatnot. I think, like I said, it's a lot of plastic, because there's a lot of plastic here in the legs, and when it's combined with Ultron, it's very tall. So maybe just in this mode, it doesn't seem that huge, but I just wanted to do a little comparison there with another one of the Dinosaur Pals. But yeah, he's pretty cool. You can kind of move the legs a little bit here. There's not really anything down here in the ankles or anything like that. Tail doesn't move once it's connected. For the T-Rex, really, you have this little bit here, but I wouldn't really use that for anything. You have movement here. You have a very minimal little ball joint in the hands, and then you can move the head up and down, and then you kind of have the second jaw that can move around. Unfortunately, you can't close the jaws. I mean, I guess you could close that all the way, but then this piece is going to hang down. I guess technically you could leave that down there, maybe, and then try to just have him have this jaw, but then it's going to look really open from the front. So I wish there was a way you could, like, clamp the jaw down so, like, it could look like he's taking a bite out of somebody. Just a minor complaint, but yeah, there is the T-Rex. And again, just for a size comparison, here it is with Ultron, kind of about the same height. Yeah, kind of about, maybe slightly, I don't know, he's kind of got these ear things going on. So with the ear things about the same, to the top of his actual head, he's a little bit taller. Alright, so let's take a closer look at our Ultron Primeval figure. He honestly looks pretty cool. I think they did a nice job with him. A lot of nice red translucent plastic here in the chest. Really, really nice. I think the head turned out good. Very minimal ball joint, so, you know, up and down, not that much, but it can look side to side. Not really a problem there. He has a hinge in the shoulder. Now, it does stop about there because of the way the shoulders are designed, so there's not a ton going on here in the shoulder, but it's honestly not bad. Rotation all the way around, no problem. You have a hinge and a rotation in the elbows. Perfectly happy with that. The forearm and the hand and everything, that's all one solid piece, so nothing there. But if you want to take the missile launcher, you can go ahead and peg that right onto his arm. So if you want him to have an arm-mounted blaster, that is an option, which is kind of cool. Nothing in the waist. Hips are kind of standard, but again, because of the molding here on the thighs, that's going to hit up, so you maybe get 45. You can't really go front to back either. Again, because of the molding on that hip piece, you know, it's kind of hitting. You can kind of, like, if you put it out to the side and spin it a little bit, get to about there. But yeah, he's not much for sitting. But I mean, he's Ultron. I don't really need him to sit down or ride in a vehicle or anything like that. I mean, I assume he's going to be either flying around or he's going to be, you know, inside the T-Rex mecha. He does have knee joints and swivel, no problem there. And then from the knee down, one solid piece. But he's got these cool, you know, T-Rex claw toes going on here. A little bit of red paint down here. Overall, I'm pretty happy with him. I like how he turned out. You know, he can't really sit, but I don't really need him to. I don't think Ultron's not really someone who's going to be riding in a vehicle or sitting down for afternoon tea. He's going to just be flying around or commanding a robot army. So, you know, I don't think that I need him to sit, really. I like the design. I think it's neat. It's something a little out of the ordinary. Not your classic Ultron design, but I kind of like it. Stacking up against some others, we have our only other villain in the line so far. Here is Venom, and he's really more of an anti-hero at this point, but if you want him to be a classic villain, go for it. But they're about the same size. And then we have Hulk, who is ever so slightly taller. I would say about a head taller. Again, depending on if you count the top of the actual head or the top of these wispy things. But yeah, they look good together. I think they're scaling pretty well all together here. And then just for fun, here is a 4-inch Fortnite figure. So you can see we're all in about the same size. Alright, so let's get into the combination. I'm going to put Ultron off to the side for a moment because we need to disassemble our T-Rex. So I'm going to start by popping the legs off. And like I said, just be a little careful with these, because the way they decided to make these connect, I really don't like it. There we go. Okay. They're a little harder to remove than I feel like they should be, but there we go. Pop the tail off as well, and then you have this section here. I like to take the little T-Rex arms and just put them all the way back to get them out of the way. Kind of just put them about there, something like that. So I like to do the feet. The directions tell you to attach the T-Rex kind of chest and back area first. I like to do the feet first. I just think it's a little bit easier. Let me make sure I'm doing this correctly. This one should be the left. I don't think it specifically says. You just kind of have to figure it out by looking at it. This kind of straighter side should be towards the inside. So we're going to take the peg hole on the bottom of the foot, peg that on there, and then move this forward so this clamp clips around his shin and calf. So push that down, pop that in, and then do the same over here on this side. Pop this, not go up, there we go. There we go, peg that in. So now we have our giant T-Rex legs, and they do add quite a bit of height. I mean, I would say that's a solid inch, maybe a little bit more. So that's kind of cool. I'm actually going to zoom the camera out here so we can fit everything. Then we're going to take this connection here, that C-clip, and put that around his waist, like so. Then you want to bring the head and the jaw down, and you kind of have to tilt the head a little bit back and bring this down almost until it kind of clips around his head. So it will kind of clip around his head almost so that it looks like it's perfectly, like, seamlessly integrated in there, which is actually kind of neat. I like that. And then you can do whatever you want. If you want to kind of put this jaw like this, I think the directions tell you to put it straight up like that. So I'll just do that. But there we go. And then we take the tail and we split this apart again, which can be a little difficult because there are a lot of tiny tabs in here. Little pegs and peg holes, and there we go. And then these connections right here will peg into the arms. So this will peg on, and you might have to kind of straighten the arm out a little bit, but it will peg on and stay on there. So that will pop on there, and then we'll take this one, and it's this one right here. And this will peg into his other forearm, like so. And there we go. There is our combined Ultron Mechasaur. You can take the missile and attach this. This side you can see that there's no connection, but there is a connection over here on this side. So if you want to go ahead and pop this on his arm, you can arm him up. But honestly, I think this is pretty successful. It's definitely the tallest of the bunch. It stands very well on its own. It doesn't have a lot of kibble here on the back. I feel like it's actually pretty nice and flat. There's not a bunch of stuff just hanging off here. It doesn't look super messy or anything like that. So I think this is good. I think, you know, he works. It's a very cohesive color scheme. Now, that being said, it is all gray. You know, maybe a little bit of red down here in the shins or something just to make it pop a little bit. But you do have the little bit up here in the head and in the chest and the head of Ultron himself. But I think just a little something down here in the shins might have been nice. You do have the black for the claws down here, so that's at least something. But yeah, I think this one's pretty good. Honestly, I think he's not super back heavy. He does have a tendency to lean back a little bit, but I feel like you can mitigate that. Yeah, just overall, I like it a lot. I think he definitely is the best of the bunch, because he stands on his own. Again, looks pretty clean. Does not have a ton of junk hanging off the back here. And I kind of like the head here. I like having this up here because that's kind of like the Ultron head. He had those kind of fins, so it's kind of replicating that. I like the way this kind of attaches snugly around the head. I just think it's one of the more successful of this subline of the Mechasaurs. I think it holds together pretty well. I think it looks pretty cool. So honestly, I think this guy is pretty cool. I think he's one of the more successful, if not the most successful in this subline. I just think that, you know, the connection with the armor works the best. He doesn't have a ton of junk hanging off the back. Pretty clean look. Doesn't make him top heavy or anything like that. He stands very well on his own. And just overall, he looks really cool. Very nice cohesive color scheme, but again, a little bit more pop of red, particularly down here in the legs would have been nice. But overall, I like it a lot. I like the figure for Ultron itself. You know, kind of a new look to Ultron. They call him Ultron Primeval, which I think is kind of fun. You know, it fits in with the whole dinosaur theme. So overall, I think it's been pretty fun. Again, don't know if we're ever going to find Iron Man or Thor, but if we do, I'll be sure to make videos for them. But yeah, definitely check this guy out. Like I said, I have not seen him in any store, but I did find him on Amazon. So if you're looking for him, check him out on Amazon. But I think he's worth your time. I definitely think he's really fun, and it's nice to just get a second villain in the line because we definitely need more, and he is pretty great. So definitely recommend checking this guy out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.